Good morning, welcome to NMS. I'd like to talk to you about training for over 40s, over 50s, and obviously, as we get older. Now, obviously, when we work with a lot of different people, we're going to have people who have trained their whole life, stayed fit. Maybe they have a couple of niggly injuries, but generally they're pretty fit, they're pretty strong. And then you're going to have people that didn't look after themselves most of their life. They probably don't have a lot of injuries, but they don't really have a good physical condition either. And then you're going to have people that were probably athletes in their younger age. They're carrying a lot of injuries. They may have come from an occupation where they've got a lot of injuries. And then their program then needs to be set up for that person and their list of injuries. So how do we know exactly how to train someone who's in their 40s, 50s and beyond? The answer to that question is we really don't know, and a lot of the information that you see online is people in their personal experience. Now, some people believe that you shouldn't squat, deadlift or bench press in your later life, and yet some people do powerlifting in their later life and it's really good for them and they love it. So why would I stop that person doing the 3 big lifts if they really enjoy them? Then I might have someone who's had some pretty serious lower back injuries. Do I want to have that person doing a deadlift? Probably not, because the chance of injury doing deadlifts is probably much higher. But at the same time, I've got to be careful with that person doing a leg press. Now, I've got a person who's in their 60s and they do squats and they do all sorts of different movements for their legs. But leg press is certainly one they can't do. And it's probably because it's already a closed hip joint movement. And because it's a closed hip movement, when they come down, they don't have the range to be able to go and move through their hips, and their lower back takes a lot of the force. So leg press for that person is no good. So my point is that you can't continue to sort of go and say, over 40, over 50, over 60, you've got to train like this. Each person is very individual in the approach that you use for them. And if that person is quite capable of doing all the different movements that you give them and they respond to them well and they recover from them well, why would you go and take those movements out when those movements could be beneficial to them? So at the age of 50, I still do bench press, still do squats, and I put deadlifts into my program from time to time, but that doesn't mean that everyone's going to be like me at the age of 50. Okay, or 51. So everyone has their individual approach. Now, I've been lifting my whole life, so I'm still capable of doing a lot of things that most people my age probably couldn't do. But that's because I've looked after myself. So what I'm suggesting here is don't limit yourself, but find out what you can do. And then obviously as you get older and things start to change, you adjust it accordingly. Because if we can still squat at the age of 80, I would still have an 80-year-old doing a squat if they could do it, okay? There may have to be some adjustments to how they do it, but if they still can do it, they will do it. And it's one of those situations, and you've probably heard the saying, move it or lose it. It really goes the same with maintaining strength. If you maintain good strength for most of your life, you will keep it. And you'll keep it into your 40s, 50s, 60s and beyond. But if you didn't, it's very hard to get that strength. And obviously if there's injuries that go with that, then it's going to be difficult to, do those big movements that challenge multiple muscle groups and challenge joints. So what is the answer to what to do in the over 40s, 50s and 60s? The answer is, it's individual. Don't try to box everyone in, because if you box everyone in, you'll find that you're maybe missing some very good movements that someone is quite capable of doing. And that is, an unfortunate thing if you treat people like as if they're glass and they could break. Thanks for listening, guys. I'm going to do another video discussing nutrition, because that's also another area that I think 40s, 50s and 60-year-olds, maybe people get treated in the wrong way. Thanks for listening.